Stop buying expensive alcohol. Um, Stop buying it. Like, I don't know why. And before, I don't know what I'm gonna title this video, but we're gonna start it off by saying Hennessy and Patron is trash. They're overpriced. They're just overpriced. Now me, I'm a whiskey connoisseur, so I like to think myself a whiskey connoisseur. I'm always pinkied out. But anyway, I'm gonna say the and I did a recent experiment for Christmas, and I got a couple devices here. I got some proof to so that I'm a little bit credible, hopefully. But now I'm not a tequila expert. I'm not a cognac expert. So, but I will say Henny and Patron is trash. But let's go over to the whiskeys. So we got the rye whiskeys, the Scotch whiskey, the Irish whiskey, the bourbon whiskey, Asian whiskey. Out of all the whiskeys, now I do favor Scotch a little bit more. It's a little bit more cleaner. The first thing I would say about Scotch is I know the most popular is I know Johnny Walker's popular. That was my entry Scotch, but for blendeds, it's not worth paying too much money for blended whiskeys. Blended whiskeys mean a bunch of people just get together and just blend it together and add stuff to try to make sure it fits the flavor profile. Now, if you are a person that likes that distinct taste, then great. They will always make it for you. And they will charge you whatever they want to charge you as long as you like that flavor that they produce. But if you like natural taste, and for me, I like natural taste. Ever since I cut out salt in my diet, I've appreciated a lot of like natural taste or whatever, like natural garlic in my food. Raw onions taste a little bit better. I don't eat raw, but like slightly cooked onions will taste better on a burger. But when it comes to whiskeys, Ziggy, be quiet. Ziggy, Ziggy, volume level one. No, it didn't, Ziggy. Why is Ziggy talking to me? Okay. Um, Actually, you know what, Ziggy? Turn the light to yellow. We'll do that. So, one thing that I want to say, Ziggy, turn the light to yellow, please. Thank you. So, now the devices I'm finna bring on, it is definitely something I want people to like take into an account and then learn from this. So, I'm not a I'm not a tequila or a cognac expert, but I've had enough. I had a handful of them to know that this kind of nah. But okay, so blended whiskeys. Blended whiskeys is pretty much like I can make some whiskey, you can make some whiskey. Five people can make some whiskeys, and we can all just sit there and just pour it in a cup and blend it and whatever. But the natural taste is what I'm talking about. So like the natural peat, from the volcanic soil that the hops grow out of or whatever, or like the actual bitter from or versus the fruitier notes. So like if plants grow in the north, more colder regions, they tend to turn a little bit more bitter versus the south. They get that more sunlight. They get that more sweeter, fruitier, um, even down to the wood. So a couple of devices that I have. So I bought this on Christmas. This is the Macallan 12. It was expensive, but it was Christmas time. I decided to treat myself, and I bought this, and I drank it slowly over the course of a week, I would say. And I would not buy Macallan again. I think it is very overpriced for the taste. Um, it's good. Don't get me wrong, it's good, but I think it's way overpriced. There's a lot of 12-year scotches out there. There's a lot of 12-year single malts that are actually pretty good. And this says double cast matures. Now maybe it was just this bottle. Maybe it was just this batch. I've had Macallan before and I thought it was great, and then I bought this one and I thought that it was just overrated. Um, so I'm speaking from Macallan. Now I will say this. Now the next two I'm gonna bring, I think I think every dark liquor lover should have one of these. And this is a barrel. It's a age your own whiskey barrel. So you can put whatever you want in here. You can put whiskey in here. You can even age beer if you want to. You can age wine with. Now with this great power comes some great responsibility, right? So you got to actually take care of this because you got to keep it in a cooler setting. You actually got to make sure it's liquid in there. You got to take care of it. This is my third one. I've had two of these falling apart before, dried up, falling apart before. I had the last one I had, it actually grew mold inside. So you got to make sure you take care of these. But the reward is so much better. It's like a little side hobby of mine. But you can age your own whiskey, and it speeds it up because the way the ages work, they go by like the 52-gallon barrel or a huge barrel. I don't forget how it goes, but it's about the time because what wood does, wood slowly absorbs and then kicks out the whiskey. So if you put a clear liquid in a barrel, over time it's gonna absorb and it's gonna turn brown. But with a smaller barrel, you kind of increase that because it's a smaller barrel, so you get like more surface to alcohol ratio. Um, Ooh, this smells so good. And then the barrel will give off like its own like cologne scent. It smells really good. It smells woody, natural, earthy. Uh, I don't really smell the metallic, but anyway, if you age your own whiskey, it gives it its own distinct flavor. And you can literally put this. You can put this in the garage. You can put it outside, as long as it's somewhere. But if I were to put this outside, it's gonna taste different. If I keep it in my room, I keep it in my room all the time on my bar, and I break this out at parties. Now sometimes if I know like I'm gonna have a get together coming up, I'll age some whiskey for 30 days, and it'll come out nice. I've served a lot of people Jim Beam. Yep, Jim Beam from the plastic bottle, the cheapest whiskey in America, or the cheapest dignified whiskey. I'm not buying no. I'm not buying unknown Canadian whiskey from the plastic jug. Jim Beam still comes in glass, so yeah, I'll put Jim Beam in here, and when it comes out of here, it tastes different. It is smooth. I do put like a blended Scotch in here as my go-to blended Scotch. I guess a cheap Scotch, but my point is, you could if you invest in one of these barrels, you can put a cheap booze in here, and it will come out tasting rich. And from a person that's tried a rich whiskey, if I put, now I'm not gonna say Jim Beam. I'm not gonna disrespect Macallan like that, but I will say this: maybe if I put, I don't know, but you know what? I'm gonna go as far to say, you know what? Because my room gets kind of warm a lot, but if I'm I'm willing to actually do a testing in the future. If I pour this Macallan side by side with some Jim Beam that I personally aged, and if I took better care of the temperature, I'm pretty sure that people would actually go sipping back and forth between these two, trying to figure out which tastes better. I'm willing to put that on the line. And yeah, so stop buying expensive whiskeys because it's really not worth it. Um, you can buy other stuff that's better or just tastes just as good, or you can make your own. So I got some here, and I'm gonna actually taste it. You can also put wine in here, which I had before. You can actually switch it up. So a lot of companies, they do put like their beer in whiskey barrels. They put wine in whiskey barrels, or they'll put whiskey in IPA barrels. So you can literally go back and forth and do whiskey beer, and just get those flavor notes. You could do whatever. Like I could take this whiskey out, put a couple IPA beers in here, then put some more whiskey in here, and then, well, after I put the IPA whiskey, drain it out, then put the whiskey in here, and that whiskey will absorb that IPA nuttiness, flowerful flavor, and it will be nice. I will put my barrel up against a Macallan any day, and I would definitely put it up against Johnny Walker Blue Label. I would definitely do that any day of the week, any day, if I got time. Just let me know. I need at least, I would say at least 40 days. At least 40 days, then I could definitely produce a better product. Now, I'm not trying to go. I'm not. It's not a pitch for me to get my own distillery. But for those that know me, that been to my house, that's actually drank from this barrel, you know it's legit. So that's that. But thanks for tuning in. That's all I got to say for today.